I rate Ghost Driver 19 from 1991. That is what this issue is. So let's get into it. We have an origin and a setup for an exciting new villain. He is tastefully called Suicide. The bad guy is called Suicide. Suicide is his name. What they have cleverly done is they have named a Ghost Driver bad guy the one name they could pick where it means it is basically impossible to ever search for him on Google. You're just going to get the song. Bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba ba bum.
Ghost Driver motorbicycle hill.
Not many comics can open with such a dour thing as a man trying to kill himself. But this won me over instantly on the next page because we have what might be the greatest sequence ever incorporated into a character's origin. He throws the gun away, exclaiming, "I can't." But it hits the wall and then shoots, and he shot himself in the eye by accident. It is never mentioned again either. There is no consequence to this accident. 100 stars up for that. He then basically says, "I would sell my soul to be brave enough to pull the trigger," and then enters Satan. Yes, Satan, the Marvel character from Silver Surfman. He looks a bit different, but that is him. This redesign, which is weak sauce, it is cemented as one of his forms in Affinity Cluedo. No, wait, before that, Affinity Gods in the Silver Surfman crossover, Resurrection. Satan takes on this form during his fight with Alan Watson. Then, in Affinity Cluedo, we see it again. Same with the Junior redesign from Readable. We had that as well. Over here is Ghost Driver doing generic Batman style shit with a stoolie, trying to put the squeeze on him to reveal information. Ghost Driver is going after a big bad drug dealer called Zodiac with a K, and he is getting this low-level runner to squeal on him. Back with Satan and Suicide. As you would expect, Satan, he makes a deal with the guy to give him the courage to kill himself. But it is Satan, so it is a con. Suicide sells his soul for the will to kill himself, and now he can kill himself. But that bastard Satan, he has only gone and made Suicide immortal. As far as I am concerned, that is a win. Satan stands to gain very little from this transaction. But if the opening sequence didn't show you, this guy is very melodramatic and embarrassing, so he is really upset about this because he wants to die. Why not just throw your gun at the wall some more times you're sure to eventually blow the rest of your face off, mate. Awful, awful, awful lettering down here. Part of Satan's dialogue is light blue against a background. Terrible choice, unreadable. Over here is Ghost Driver Downtime. This is 90s Ghost Driver. They did a Green Lanterns with him. They did an Emerald Twilight. I will explain it in another video one day. One of the amusing things is how much plain better this Ghost Driver is as a central character. He is by and large the most basic and by the numbers superhero protagonist you could imagine, but it is still more relatable than a middle-aged carny who was stupid enough to make a deal with Satan. Here is Zodiac with a K. You know he is a bad lad because he is always smoking a cigar. Genuinely, Zodiac with a K is a poor character. He makes suicide look impressive. Retcon time. I reckon Zodiac with a K is actually just Unpausable Man taking the piss out of 90s Ghost Driver. He is playing the part of a comical villain, hence the constant cigar. It makes more sense than anything we ever learn about Zodiac with a K. As for suicide, it is very trite and ham-fisted and over the top, but the setup for suicide works enough. We get handed what we need, and given Ghost Driver another bad guy, as shallow and thin as suicide is as an idea, it works. An immortal bad guy who wants to die and thinks that Ghost Driver can deliver him the death he seeks. I do question introducing a new character with this imagery though. A giant bodybuilder black man in a string vest riding on the back of a motorbicycle, which due to the perspective and his own mass makes it look like a unicycle. Suicide goes on to have more appearances after this. Notably, the one that sticks out in my mind is Wolfman. He fights Wolfman. In the Wolfman maxi series, Wolfman, the best there is. He is, as are a lot of the deep-cut continuity characters featured in that series. He is handled incredibly respectfully and true to what we have here. So, Suicide tries to kill himself by crashing into a truck to no avail. So then we have a big three-way, not the sex kind. Ghost Driver is about ready to face Unpausable Man when Suicide shows up and starts fighting Ghost Driver. So we have, well, first, here is one of Satan's other cons, preying on the souls of gullible children. But we have Ghost Driver versus Suicide, a fight. Routine and basic shit. That is 90s Ghost Driver stock and trade. The bare essentials. That's what you're getting. A bad guy with the string vest equivalent of motivations, action that ticks the boxes, the smallest of ongoing plot advancement or downtime character beats. They are piss easy to review because there isn't much of anything under the hood. You pop the hood of the car and there's not even an engine. It's a pencil sketch of an engine. What is that from? That is from something, isn't it? Someone looks in a car hood and there's just a piece of paper with an engine drawn on. It would be a safe guess to say The Simpsons, but it feels like something else. Sort of feels like the kind of joke they would do on Family Guy. Anyway, here is a fact for you. I am pretty confident, in fact I am willing to say I am 100% confident that Suicide, the character, the bad guy featured in this story, he has never received an Andy book profile ever. I realised in my head that was a setup for a cutaway, but there's nothing to cut away to because he doesn't have one. Instead, here is Ghost Drivers from the Master Edition. Here is Ghost Driver's profile from the Master Edition. It's a cutaway. You know, it's readable. It's not awful, but it's pretty fucking lame. I cannot get over Zodiac with a K. He is appalling. Fucking stood there with a cigar in his mouth. And our other bad guy is an over-the-top suicidal man in a string vest. Yeah, this is readable, but I wouldn't feel proud reading it. My theory might ring true though, because Zodiac with a K, between scenes, his costume completely changes. He had a purple cape before, now it's green. What happens is Zodiac with a K, he blasts Ghost Driver with a science gun, and that defeats him. And it is all very 90s and very exaggerated and loud. I think Suicide, at the very basic level, is okay. Ghost Driver, or a character like Ghost Driver, can always benefit from creating and adding new rogues to his roster. And Suicide is so basic, but it works. It's a character idea that you can get across to someone in less than 10 seconds. He is an okay addition. Zodiac with a K is woeful, and I suppose I'll be talking about him if you all request part 2 of this 2-part story featuring the origin of Zodiac with a K and a final showdown. I probably don't recommend this. It's there is a thin line between stupid and stupidity. For every bit I think is alright, there's a page with that untenable Zodiac with a K bad guy. I've got to give this 7 thumbs up.